Tashi Deleg and a hello to all Buddhist brothers and sisters around the world. My name is Tenzin Chogyal. Today I'm here to make short video to shed some light on the subject of what it means to be a Buddhist. The people who call themselves a Buddhist, people who think they are Buddhist, people who feel they are Buddhist, but they have no idea what they are supposed to do and what they are supposed to think. And when people ask you, what do you do as a Buddhist, and they have no idea what to say. So hopefully this video will help to those who are facing such issues. By the way, this video is primarily for those younger generation who are in middle schools, high schools, and universities, and probably in a workforce, who call themselves a Buddhist, identify themselves as a Buddhist. So especially when people ask you, what do you do as a Buddhist? Many people get confused. They think, we call the traditional way of seeing or the recognizing as a Buddhist, especially in Tibetan culture, is like we call Yunchop, offering water in the morning, and a chumi, the burning the butter lamp or the candles, and a chatse, prostration, and a kandunje, there's a specific text recitation every day, and going to the temple. There's a chosham, sort of like an altar. You display Buddha statues and statues of different deities. So those kind of people have in their mind. So those do not actually really become part of Buddhists unless you know the core principles of the Buddhism, I mean. So I have made a couple of videos in the past, probably 5 of them, under the name of The Buddhism I Know. They're all in Tibetan. And people who can understand Tibetan, please, I request to watch those videos. They're all in about different topics, largely based on historical facts. Okay, without wasting more time, let me get to the today's topic. So what is meant to be a Buddhist? So what do you do in everyday life, every moment of your life? Unlike other religion like Islam or Christianity or Jews, they have specific things to do different days of the week. Even every day they have different things to do, as a Christian, as a Muslim, or as a Jew. And they have certain things, the restrictions, and what they are supposed to think. If you ask, what do you do as a Muslim, they can tell you right away, clearly, or as a Christian or as a Jew. But if you ask any Buddhist, especially the young people, okay, you're a Buddhist, so what do you do? What are you supposed to do, or what are you supposed to think? They will struggle to answer. So as a Buddhist, you have to remember, okay, all Buddhist teachings are summarized in one sentence, which is subduing mind. So all Buddhist teachings all about subduing your mind. So you can say that, but the problem is, what does it mean by subduing mind? Now the people get confused. Then you need a further explanation, and that creates certain the further confusion. So to resolve that issue, I expanded a little bit this principle of subduing mind. So you have to remember the three things, three principles, sort of. Development of wisdom, development of compassion, development of mind. So please remember these three principles. As long as you remember these three things and you are pursuing these three things in your life, every moment of your life, you are practicing Buddhism. You are following Buddhist teaching. And of course, you can say, okay, what is this, development of wisdom? So when you talk about a development of wisdom, you are talking about seeking the reality. You're trying to find out what is the nature of reality. So when you go to school, for example, you study math, science, the physics, biology, chemistry, whatever, these are all also become part of development of wisdom. You're developing your intellectual thinking. You're developing a tool to understand the nature of reality. So anything to develop your intellectual thinking, your critical thinking, mental sharpness, all those becomes part of a development of wisdom. Now the second one is the development of compassion. Unfortunately, today's most academic curriculum, there's no such thing as a development of compassion. That's why we face so much problem in today's world, despite of material prosperity, like unprecedented material prosperity, we still face like unprecedented challenges. So that's mainly due to lack of the development of compassion. So what does it mean by development of compassion? Development of compassion is being honest, being fair, being truthful, being generous, so being kind, being loving, and basically, you stop just thinking about yourself. You start thinking about others' welfare, others' feeling, others' pain. So whatever you do, make sure you consider others, you put into consideration others' well-being. So that is development of compassion. Now, what is this development of mind? Development of mind is you control your mind. You purify your mind by, reducing your anger, reducing your hatred, reducing your jealousy, reducing your ignorance. And there's endless. You never become free of these negative emotions for now, otherwise you'll be a Buddha. So you have it, but you make sure you learn how to control them. Make sure you control them instead of these negative emotions controlling you. So that part becomes a development of a mind. So all these principles, development of wisdom, development of compassion, development of mind, or even, for example, you see, the altars in people's house offering water, yunchop, reciting mantra, reciting the khandun, the everyday prayer that you read, or certain textbooks, or you recite the money, or the meditation, whatever, the chumi, the burning, the butter lamp or the candle, all these activities has to become part of one of these three principles: development of wisdom, development of compassion, development of mind. Otherwise, they do not become part of Buddhist practice. So if you want to know further, meaning of wisdom, development of wisdom, development of compassion, development of mind, you have to study. You have to invest a lot of time. That's why you see, Tibetan monks studying in the monastery for years. Many of them there all their life. So they're all studying about basically all these three principles. And it's not easy. Of course, the basic the principle, as I explained, is simple, but of course, you need further understanding in order to make like clear understanding of why you have to do, why you have to develop wisdom, why you have to develop compassion, why you have to develop your mind. So you need to study. But for now, as long as you remember these three, and these three, as I said, also are tool of subduing mind. Remember that, the one sentence, subduing mind. So always think about whatever you are doing. Make sure you are either developing wisdom, development compassion, or development of mind. As long as you do that, your action is aligned with Buddhist principles, and your mental the orientation is in the right direction, is on the right side, and you are towards accomplishing the Buddhist goal, which is, you can call it enlightenment, nirvana, Buddhahood, whatever you want to call it. So you are heading towards the right direction. So that's the most important part. You don't want to go in the wrong direction. You want to, irrespective of speed, if you want to go faster, you change your, I don't want to get into this detail, but what I'm saying is make sure you are heading into right direction, irrespective of your speed. So that's the one message I want to, say today. So now the next question becomes like, okay, so development of wisdom, development of compassion, development of mind is a common to every other religion. For example, of course, there's a similar ideas in Judaism, Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. So what is special about it? So you have to know the difference. This is very important. So in Buddhism, as long as you follow, development of wisdom, development of compassion, and development of mind, you are complete. That's all you need to focus on. That's all you need to pursue, and that's all you need to develop and expand and fine-tune. In these areas, you don't need anything else. In other religion, you could be the greatest person in the history. You are the most intelligent person. You are the most compassionate person. You are the most humble person, like the most gentle person. But if you do not believe in God, it means nothing. So that's the difference. You still go to hell. Now let's say you could be a most evil person, such as maybe Hitler, Mao, and those type of people. Imagine before they die, they remember God and they ask for forgiveness. Oh, I did a very cruel thing in my life, please forgive me. And they go to heaven instead of hell. So that is the difference. So in Buddhism, we do not have to believe in God in order to work, development of wisdom, development of compassion, and develop mind to come into fruition. So that is the difference. So I will be making more videos in relate to these subjects, and if you know Tibetan, please watch my other videos. They're all in Tibetan, and in the future, I don't know if I should make video in English or Tibetan. So I'm a little bit in dilemma, and I will decide. But so far, there's not much viewer. There's not much response, so I cannot tell which language is better to communicate with those people who need such information, to help their life, to help the Buddhist aspect of their life. So hopefully many people find this video helpful, and have a great life. I see you in next video. Thank you.